Going into the villains, we have the purple dinosaur himself, Megatron. To put it bluntly, Megatron is a delight.
Yes.
He is deliciously cheesy, but still sounds sophisticated and intimidating. Not to mention that he's quite possibly the most dangerous Transformers villain of all time. The original Megatron may have been cunning and powerful, but he's got nothing on this Megatron's cunning. This Megatron is flat out insane and willing to destroy all of reality. Most Megatrons at least had something to rein themselves in. Beast Wars Megatron is a terrorist with an ego that makes Skylinks look humble.
Now, remember, before you do anything, think, is this what Skylinks would do in my position? And you will not go far wrong.
He values himself above all others, and all troops under his command are expendable at best. Loyalty buys you nothing with Megatron. He's only interested in satisfying his own ego. He is a master schemer, capable of planning for many eventualities and actually overturning other schemes to overthrow him. This is most displayed in the episode Double Jeopardy, where Pterosaur's plans to overthrow Megatron quickly became a way for Megatron to prove that Pterosaur is incapable of leading them.
Now, which of you glorious victors would still follow this fool's lead? Yes, so I calculated, and thus ends the glorious reign of Pterosaur, a lost battle, a missing Black Arachnia, and who knows what damage inflicted by the Maximal Spy!
Oh, my aching head.
He takes the whole thing in stride and establishes his dominance over the Predacons.
Why do you always talk to yourself?
I simply have a penchant for intelligent conversation.
Even when Megatron is locked up at gunpoint, he still manages to have absolute power and authority over the situation. It's not even surprising to learn that he has a god complex in the last few episodes. It's more of a what took you so long sort of thing. Not to mention that of all the Transformers villains, he's come the closest to his goals of dominating the universe. If not for the lucky intervention of Black Arachnia and later Dinobot 2, he would be ruling over all of reality with an iron fist. In a franchise with big bads like Unicron, Megatron stands above them all, as perhaps the most dangerous and cunning of the pantheon of villainy.
Say goodbye to the universe, Maximals! The future has changed! Yes! The Autobots lose! Evil triumphs! And you no longer exist!
Scorponok is one of the most loyal Predacons on the show. In fact, it's his defining trait.
Megatron is our leader. He rewards loyalty and punishes those who oppose his will.
In the early episodes, he acted as the tech guy, but that soon became relegated to Tarantulas. Scorponok got left with being a dumb brute, but at least he's a dumb brute with massive firepower. There's not much left to say. His death allowed for far more interesting characters to show up, but I can say this. He's better than Headmaster Scorponok.
Fortress Maximus has come himself.
We'll need to find another specimen.
How about an arachnid?
Pterosaur is Beast Wars' equivalent of Starscream. He wants to take control of the Predacons, but doesn't quite have the capability to command them as Megatron proved.
Well, look who's back.
Help!
Give Pterosaur some credit. Unlike Starscream, he wised up and realized that he never truly had it in him. Even then, he was still one of the most powerful Predacons, being the fastest of their aerial troops. He actually had a camaraderie with Waspinator, but then he died, leaving Waspinator with only Inferno to pal around with. And Waspinator doesn't like Inferno.
That is major suck-up.
Pterosaur was never that impressive, but he was entertaining nonetheless.
It's good to be a Predacon.
Tarantulas is a master schemer, second only to Megatron. He's also a gluttonous creep with an apparent need to eat any living thing that comes along.
And when your energy's gone, I feast. Stop slobbering on me, Tarantulas! I am feasting! Dinner is served.
Tarantulas is never given a full-on backstory, but we can make assumptions about who he really is. Given the fact that he was not afraid of being wiped out when the Ark was destroyed, it leads credence to the theory that he and the Triperdicus Council are the descendants of Unicron. That's the only way that they would not be wiped out by the destruction of both factions. Besides, there's this line.
Ah, yes. Incipient treachery from Unicron's spawn.
Sure, that could be a simple insult, but I'll take anything I can get. Even if that's not true, he's still an absolute psychopath.
So they say.
His creating Black Arachnia also showed a perverted side to him, and his general attitude towards her was one of a domestic abuser. To him, she was property, even more apparent when they shared the psychic link. The fact that he made it his personal goal to destroy her shows that if he couldn't have her, then no one could. Megatron doesn't have much love for Tarantulas, but often relies on the spider's treachery in a jam. It's because of Tarantulas that Megatron gained the Nemesis. Of course, Megatron still has one major disappointment in Tarantulas.
I can suffer your treachery, Lieutenant, but not your incompetence. Treachery requires no mistakes.
Tarantulas is creepy and makes everyone uncomfortable, which is definitely saying something considering the other nutcases he tags along with.
This is a dumb plan, Webface. I don't have any real blood, just mech fluid.
Oh, my filters will adjust. It is the act I enjoy more than the nourishment.
Black Arachnia is much like Venus.
Oh, hot, poisonous, and deadly. You're sweet.
She's about as trustworthy as a starved lion, even after she joins the Maximals. Black Arachnia only knew the life of a Predacon, therefore deceit and treachery are the only things she understood. She lived under a regime of constant betrayal and subversion, and so adapted to match. She used her feminine charms to control and use the other Predacons for her personal gain. When Silverbolt fell in love with her, she didn't quite know how to take it, probably assuming that Silverbolt was trying to use her. Which was never true, he genuinely loved her. She tried her hardest to hide her feelings, but couldn't deny that she had fallen for him as well. When the idea of removing the Predacon shell program came up, she believed the Maximals were going to force her through it. Never true. The choice was always hers to go through with it or not.
With reprogramming, you could be the Maximal you were meant to be. But the decision to take that step is, and always will be, yours to make.
She was genuinely shocked that she had an option, which goes to show how her life as a Predacon affected her. Her choice was not to. Of course, 2 episodes later they had to, otherwise she would die. Luckily, there was not much of a change, and she retained her personality. She's still the deadly widow who likes him big and stupid.
Sorry, chunk style, but I like being a bad girl. And you know something else? Somewhere deep beneath this squeaky clean armor plating of yours, I think you like it too.
Inferno is the character whose beast mode is the most integral to his personality.
Spiders! Dare invade the colony! Inferno! Terrorize!
Incoming!
Destruction to all who threaten us! The royalty commands it!
You've kind of got to love the idea of a flamethrower-wielding fire ant. He's just as loyal as Scorponok, but considering how crazy he is, that's not a compliment.
I was explaining what it means to be a Predacon. Deceit, treachery, mindless loyalty.
Loyalty comes first!
He serves his queen to the letter, although Megatron would prefer he call him something else.
Yes, my queen. I wish she wouldn't call me that. As you command, my queen.
Oh, I do wish he'd stop calling me that.
Yes, my queen.
I was not aware you had given yourself a new title.
Say the word, my queen, and he shall burn.
Not just yet. And for the last time, stop calling me that!
As you command, my...
Inferno definitely is the definitive example of the meaning of loyalty to Megatron.
My queen! We're down here!
Well, I don't like the looks of this.
Of course, you would have to be a major idiot to trust Megatron. By the end, Inferno quickly became outclassed, and was close to rivaling Waspinator in how much punishment one bot can take. When he wasn't being scrapped though, he was making sure to burn his enemies to a cinder. Rampage is the Cybertronian equivalent of Hannibal Lecter.
Is that fear you're feeling, Maximo? Yes. My spark, it feeds on terror. Let it grow. Let it consume your circuitry. Feel it. Yes, feel it. Feel the fear.
What makes Rampage interesting is that they actually give more to him than simply being a monster. Sure, his first episode was basically a slasher film, but there was more to him. He views himself as cursed, and the only way to express himself or feel anything is to kill. The fact that he instantly bonded with Transmutate says a lot about him. He was leading a cursed existence, and to find someone to share that existence with was his ultimate goal. Depth Charge actually fulfilled this for him in the end. It can be interpreted that Rampage's actions actually created another like him. Depth Charge was pretty much cursed because of what Rampage took from him. Rampage created another like him to make things interesting. After all, if you're immortal, you need something to do. Why not engage in an eternal struggle with someone who will stop at nothing to find a way to kill you? In the end, Depth Charge killing him was the greatest gift he could ask for. He was freed of his pain and allowed to rest in peace. And taking Depth Charge with him was his gift to Depth Charge. The two cursed individuals, no longer cursed. Quick Strike was Texan. He's not particularly smart and simply enjoys beating the energon out of Maximals. That recklessness of his is his greatest flaw.
Quick Strike, you may lead.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear.
Royalty? Why was I not chosen?
Because, Inferno, when expecting booby traps, always send a boob in first.
There's not much to him, but he's quite entertaining at least.
But of course, my good,
Call me Quick Strike, and good's got nothing to do with it.
Dinobot 2 does not have much to him. He was built to be completely loyal to Megatron and to not question his orders. That didn't last once Rampage died.
You would turn the full fury of this mighty warship on a lone anthropoid? Tell me, Megatron, where's the honor in that?
you dare use the H-word to me.
I apologize. I merely felt our power should be conserved for the larger battle.
Duly noted and ignored.
As mentioned, it's a plot hole that he suddenly started to gain the memories of the original Dinobot, but it was explained in an unmade episode called Dark Glass. In that episode, Rat Trap would have attempted to install the old Dinobot's personality into the clone in order to bring him back. I wish that they would have made that episode. It sounds like it would have been a great character episode for Rat Trap, and considering how the series ends, it would have had a great downer ending. In the end, Dinobot 2 was a mere shell of the original Dinobot, a disgrace to the memory and nothing more. But in the end, he did do what Dinobot does best. Monologue to himself and betray Megatron.
What possible reason do you have to disobey me? I am your master! I am your creator!
And I have my honor.
Waspinator is the universe's favorite chew toy, and he knows it.
Why, universe hate Waspinator?
In early Season 1, Waspinator was actually competent. He was capable of being a threat and taking out Optimus and Cheetor. Sure, he could get slagged, but Pterosaur and Scorponok were slagged just as much as him. But as the season pressed on, his competence began to wane. I'd say that this is the moment he became the Waspinator we know and love.
Oh yeah, he doesn't like that. Robo-Loogie!
It was all downhill from there. The funny thing, though, is that for all the stuff he goes through, he's actually quite prideful through most of the series.
Waspinator sick of taking orders. Waspinator is greatest of Predacons. Waspinator rules.
Once Season 3 sets in, though, all that pride goes out the window, and he's left with the awful truth. Not that he's not still trying, though.
Megatron will reward Waspinator for victory over Maximals. Maybe give a Waspinator vacation. Waspinator having a good day. Not get shot once.
The show's crew absolutely hated Waspinator, feeling that his style of speaking took up too much time from the show. To mitigate this, they decided to limit his appearances by having him be blown to scrap most of the time. Ironically, viewers found themselves taken with Waspinator, and his popularity skyrocketed. He was supposed to die in Season 2, but his popularity saved him, or prolonged his suffering, depending on how one views it. Waspinator also gets bonus points for having some of the funniest lines in the series.
No, Waspinator has a headache in his whole body. Waspinator not want to be destroyed. Waspinator has plans. Oh, sure, don't mind Waspinator. Waspinator just lie here and suffer. Drag himself to see our tech. At least this time, Waspinator has company. Antbot not find own thorax with both hands and a roadmap.
Waspinator is so popular that he's one of only 2 Beast Wars characters to appear in another series. Specifically, he and Black Arachnia both appeared in Transformers Animated.
Wasp, forgive Bumblepop. Oh, really? But Waspinator never forgive!
And because it bears mentioning again, Waspinator did appear in Beast Machines. However, it is something that I do not consider canon, since his ending in Beast Wars was absolutely hilarious. Waspinator may not have been the most effective Predacon, but the fact that he's still standing is a testament to his lackluster abilities.
Waspinator, sick of being evil, sick of being Predacon! And Waspinator especially sick of getting blown to scrap all the time! So, Waspinator quit! As of now, which means Antbot and Two Heads can just pucker their mandibles and plant big, wet, juicy one right here on Waspinator's big, fat, stripey...
Before we end this, I want to highlight the reason why I think Beast Wars has become so beloved. It's unique. There has never been another Transformers series like it. In the 34-year existence of the franchise, we have seen different takes on it with different ideas or styles present, but mostly following the same formula.
Autobots wage their battle to destroy the evil forces of the Decepticons.
That's the thing. No matter how different it can get, it's still following the basic premise set by the original series. And subsequently, many characters from that show have seen many different interpretations over the years. And that's where Beast Wars wins out. If you want to see a show with Ratchet in it, you have a lot of different options to choose from. But if you want to see a show with Dinobot in it, you have only one option. Beast Wars and even Beast Machines remain as an anomaly because of this. That's the reason it works. We're not following characters who we've seen before or already know, we're following original characters with their own personalities and personal development. And it remains unique because these characters have, for the most part, never appeared in another show. They remain a part of the Beast era of Transformers and are not part of any other era. And I hope it stays that way. They should remain unique. There's no reason to try and bring these characters into another show or even movie, because in the end, they'll be made a part of typical Transformers, instead of the originality of the Beast era. We don't need a show where Dinobot transforms into anything other than an organic velociraptor is all I'm saying. Beast Wars Transformers is an enjoyable series that deserves recognition as the show that saved the Transformers and set the precedent for most modern Transformers series. Its flaws are outweighed by its merits, and it stands the test of time. A fantastic show that people of all ages can enjoy. It is truly more than meets the eye.
Go,